Christina and Paul had been married for 4 years. Years built on shared meals, quiet mornings, and whispered dreams of a future they both believed in. For the most part, theirs was a steady life. Comfortable, predictable. But like all lives wrapped too tightly in routine, cracks had begun to show. Christina had long felt unfulfilled in her old job. The delays in salary, the suffocating lack of growth, the stagnant air of a place where ambition went to die. It had worn her down. So when a new opportunity presented itself, offering better pay, a healthier environment, and the promise of upward mobility, she took it. Paul had encouraged her. He admired her resolve, even if he missed seeing her at the usual time every evening. At first, it was all excitement. Christina came home buzzing about new projects, interesting co-workers, and how refreshing it felt to finally be seen as capable. She missed her old colleagues, yes, but she quickly found new ones, forming bonds over late-night coffee and onboarding struggles. Paul listened, happy to see her thriving. But as the weeks rolled on, something began to shift. The late nights started innocently, an extra 30 minutes here and there. Then it became an hour. 2. Paul would wait outside in the car, scrolling through his phone, eyes glancing at the lobby doors. Sometimes he'd wait 40 minutes before Christina finally emerged, apologizing with a tired smile and saying she just had to finish one last thing. Eventually, she told him not to bother picking her up. She'd get home on her own. It stung more than he let on. When Paul asked if she was getting paid for the overtime, Christina waved the question away. "It's normal," she said. "I'm still learning the systems. They use all this new software. And I want them to see I'm serious. You only get one shot to make an impression." He understood, to a point. She wanted to build a future there. But something didn't sit right. It wasn't just the hours. It was a change in her tone, her guarded responses, the way her phone was suddenly always on silent when they were together. One evening, Paul called her. No answer. 10 minutes later, he tried again. This time, she picked up, cheerful as ever. "Hey, I'm just finishing something. Be home soon," she chirped. Just as she was about to hang up, he heard a distinct beeping in the background. It wasn't loud, just a quick electronic chirp, but it stood out, an odd, persistent sound. He asked about it. She brushed it off. "Oh, just a system notification," she said lightly. Over the next week, Paul heard it again. Once, twice, always when she was alone at the office. Then came the coincidence that changed everything. Paul had made plans to meet his old college friend Patrick at the mall. As he arrived, he saw Patrick walking out an electronics repair shop, beaming. "Finally got my smartwatch back," Patrick said, holding it up. "I've been so lost without it. This thing runs my whole day." They found a table at a nearby cafe, and as they sat down, Paul heard the same beep again. His head snapped up. "That sound, your watch just made that." Patrick nodded. "Yeah, I set a reminder to call my mom. This thing chirps every hour like clockwork." Paul's stomach dropped. Christina didn't own a smartwatch. She had told him no one else stayed late with her. But that beeping, it was the same sound he'd heard during their calls. Suspicion bloomed like poison. The next day, Paul quietly took a day off work. He told Christina he was working remotely, but drove instead to her office building. The receptionist greeted him warmly, and he asked if Christina was in. "She's just wrapping up something at her desk," the woman said. Paul walked in, and Christina looked up, surprised. "Paul, what are you doing here?" He didn't answer. His ears were already tuned in, waiting. Then there was again the beep. He turned, scanning the room, and saw a man sitting a few desks away, glancing down at his smartwatch before casually silencing it. The man noticed Paul looking. Their eyes locked. Recognition sparked. Paul had seen it before, weeks ago, stepping out of the building for a smoke just as Christina got into the car. When Paul had asked who he was, Christina had shrugged it off. Probably someone from another office. But here he was, clearly a colleague, clearly close enough to make Christina's cheeks flush when another co-worker jokingly said, "You're the lucky guy married to the new girl, huh?" A second co-worker joined them, teasing even further. "You got some competition, man. This guy here's been staying late with her to teach her the ropes." Christina looked away. Paul's fist clenched. The co-worker continued, unaware of the tension brewing. They make a cute team, don't they? Always whispering over that one laptop in the back. That was all it took. Paul marched over to the man, demanding answers. Accusations flew. The man smirked, and that smirk lit a fuse. Shouting turned to shoving. Punches followed. People scrambled to pull them apart. Paul was dragged outside, his lip bleeding, fury in his eyes. Christina ran after him. Paul, please. Don't touch me, he growled, brushing her hand away. Just tell me, did you betray me with him? Her face crumbled. Her lips parted to speak, but the words didn't come. Instead, she nodded, covering her face as tears poured through her fingers. Paul stared at her, the betrayal hitting like a cold knife to the chest. How could you? He whispered. What did you think would happen? She begged, sobbed, swore it was a mistake, swore it had meant nothing. Paul didn't shout. He didn't curse. He just got into his car and drove away, leaving her alone in the parking lot. Later that night, Christina came home. She pleaded for forgiveness, said she quit the job so they could start a family, try again, rebuild what was broken. But Paul was already gone in every way that mattered. He told her to pack her things, told her to leave. His voice was like stone, cold, unmoving. The next day, he filed for divorce. Christina moved in with her sister, trying to patch herself back together. The man she betrayed Paul with, he moved on within a week, just as he always did. Christina, once so bright and driven, found herself spiraling. Her work suffered. She made mistakes, missed deadlines, and after one too many errors, she was let go, quietly, without ceremony. The silence that followed was louder than anything she'd ever known. Regret has a way of lingering in the spaces you once filled with laughter. One poor choice, one moment of weakness, can undo years of love. And once trust is shattered, no amount of tears can piece it back together. Temptation is temporary, but the damage it leaves behind, that can echo for a lifetime.